Now, before jumping into two-sided or three-sided kind of business model, now let's quickly understand what is network effect and what are growth loops. So you may have seen a lot of companies utilizing the network effect to really build both the side of business. So now let's quickly understand those things.
So let's understand what exactly is platform business. So platform business is basically a platform which basically connects consumer to producer. Now the bottom thing can be a consumer or a customer, and producer can be a manufacturer, producer, distributor, or disintermediary. So producer are all those people who are either producing the product or manufacturing it or distributing it, but they do not exactly know how to do all these things efficiently. And that's why platform business directly comes in. They will say that if you are a distributor, a producer, or a manufacturer, we are someone who basically takes care of all the marketing stuff. We have these many customers on our platform. So if you start listing your product on our platform, people can come and they can purchase it, and we will provide you a logistic support. We will facilitate the transaction. We will build the trust. Let's quickly understand this with the help of an example. Let's say Amazon is a platform business, and there is one supplement company which basically manufacture whey protein, multivitamins, and all these kind of product, and they really want to sell their product to millions or billions of people. So they will list their product on Amazon, and Amazon will tell them that we are going to facilitate your transaction, which basically means we will collect payment from customers and we will transfer it to you. We basically do a lot of marketing of your product. We basically add a lot of value to your brand, and then we are going to charge 15% to 25% commission on your product, depending on the categories. So some categories have a commission of 15%, 20%, while some categories also have a commission of around 30%, 35%. So it all depends on categories to categories. Platform business basically provide you a tools and services. They build a lot of audience base, which is basically attracting customers using marketing campaigns. They have some rules and standard. So if your brand is not following those rules and standard, chances are those platforms are gonna delist your brand. And then obviously they do matchmaking. So they will help your product to reach to right customer. Let's say if I am someone who is constantly purchasing a lot of supplements and fitness product, then chances are I'm gonna see that brand in my feed or in my Amazon app. So Amazon is basically a platform which basically provide all these services. You can replace Amazon with any other companies. Let's take Uber. So Uber is providing tools and services to driver. They are attracting a lot of people who used to have Uber. They have some rules and standard. Basically, they have to charge some commission. If somebody is putting a lot of complaints towards a driver, chances are Uber is going to unlist or delist that driver. And then obviously Uber is going to do matchmaking. That's the basic business model of platform. You can put Uber, Amazon, Flipkart, DoorDash, any company over here. Now let's understand how platform is really powered by network effect. Now, in case if you don't know, network effect is the most important term for platform business. If you really want to build a platform business successfully, then you have to have a network effect. Now let's understand what exactly is network effect. So network effect is a phenomena whereby increased number of people or participant improves the value of goods or service. I'll give you a very simple example. You use Facebook or WhatsApp just because your friends are using it. You use Instagram just because a lot of your friends are there on Instagram. You purchase your product from Amazon just because there are a lot of resellers who are selling the product on Amazon. That means every additional person that is using that product or service, that person is adding a lot more value to that specific product. And that's why you are coming and using that kind of product. Take social media, take e-commerce platform, take Uber, everything is driven by network effect. Now let's see how this network effect is powering different sort of companies. Take Uber. More drivers is equal to more riders. So more the number of riders you have, more the number of drivers you have. So every time you book an Uber, chances are you have drivers nearby you, and that's how you end up getting an Uber very fast and very cheaper. Second example is Facebook. If you have more and more friends who are using Facebook, you will also use Facebook. If some of your friends stop using Facebook, they are not active, chances are you're gonna also switch to Instagram or maybe to Snapchat. Microsoft. If more and more people are using Windows operating system, you have more and more software available because then you have more developers, and that's how the basic network effect will kicks in. Then you have Google. If you do more Google search, Google will understand your search term, your keywords much better, and you have more and more people who are putting their websites, their blog posts, their content on Google. And Amazon is the basic example. If you have more buyers, then you have more sellers. If you have more sellers, then you have more competition. If you have more competition, chances are the product is gonna sell at a lower price. So more seller is equal to better for buyers, because they will get a product at an affordable rate or a cheaper rate. That's the basic network effect example. So which means all these network effects are driven by something called as flywheel. And these flywheels are made up of small growth loops. Don't worry, we will understand what exactly is growth loop and flywheel concept. But you can clearly see from all these things, growth loop simply means that more driver is equal to more rider. More rider is equal to lesser price. More driver is equal to lesser price. So all these are individual loops, and if you connect all these individual loops, they make a flywheel, which is like very powerful for all these companies. Then you have different types of network. Then you have one-sided network, two-sided network, three-sided, multi-sided, direct, indirect. There are different types of network. But the only request which I have from you is to start making notes. Believe me guys, if you are making notes of this course, you will understand much more than other people. If you write down all these concepts about all these companies, then chances are you're gonna retain these concepts to a very longer duration of time. So as I've explained, there is a network effect which is driven by growth loops. So you have individual growth loops, and those individual growth loops combine together to form a flywheel concept. So let's understand network effect in a much better way. So network effect is driven by two important things. One is the growth loop and second is the flywheel. So basically all these growth loops combine together and then they make a flywheel. Let's understand the Uber growth loop. So when Uber was starting its operation in 2010 or in 2012, at that point of time, they do not have so many riders on their platform. So they started doing a lot of marketing campaigns. They were collaborating with so many companies. And after a moment, they also started getting a lot of riding requests or ride requests that, hey man, I want to go from this place to this place. I have just booked Uber. And when more and more riders started coming to the platform, then Uber also started onboarding a lot more drivers. Now you have more riders and more drivers and everything is happy. But now the real network effects start coming in, because when those drivers are doing more number of trips, then obviously the cost will be less, because previously they were only doing 10 or maybe 15 trips a day. But now because more riders are there on the platform, instead of now 10 trips, they are doing 25 trips a day, which means that their overall revenue or overall salary or wages are high, and then the company started paying them a little less. So let's say if previously the company or the Uber is paying them around, let's say previously if Uber was taking only 5% of the total trip size, now they started taking 10% of the trip size. So let's say if previously the trip cost you $10, then Uber will take like maybe $1 or $0.50 of that trip, and then they will pass on the remaining amount to the driver's pocket. But now if Uber have more number of riders and more number of drivers, now Uber have power to take a very large cut. Now they can take $1 or $2 out of that trip. So now more number of trip means less cost. So now customer are also paying less, Uber is also taking more, and driver are also paid less, because now Uber have a network effect. Now on third growth loop, if you look, if you have more number of riders on your platform, chances are all those customers have less waiting time. So let's imagine a situation, if you have 5-6 Uber cars around your home or house, then you will feel like, hey, this Uber is just coming in 2 minutes. It's very convenient for me. So if you have more and more number of drivers, you have very less waiting time. But if you combine all of these growth loops, you have something called as flywheel, which is also the next version of network effect. The main idea of this flywheel concept is growth. So if you really want to achieve hyper growth, or if you really want your product or service to grow very fast, then you have to maintain a low cost structure. And to maintain a low cost structure, you basically have to lower down your prices. And if you lower down your prices, then your customer or your rider in this case, which is Uber, they really have a good experience, because now they are paying less, they are really enjoying the ride, and the rider experience is very nice. And if the rider experience is good, they are really enjoying the ride, that means more and more people will also start using Uber. If more and more people started using Uber, then you have more and more number of drivers who are driving the car. And if you have more and more number of drivers, then you have more number of rides. And if you have more number of rides, then basically Uber is getting benefited from them. So this complete small growth loops are now combined together to form a flywheel concept. And that's how all these companies are successful. You can replace Uber with any food tech. You have one restaurant, one person who is ordering. Now you have 1 million restaurant and maybe 10 million people who are ordering the food. And that's how those things really kicks in. So now you have cheaper food. Now you have cheaper prices. Customers are really happy. Delivery is also very fast. So all those network effect works almost in every company, in every domain. Take stock market, or take food aggregator, or ride hailing companies. Network effect is present everywhere.
So I think you got a fair understanding of network effect, growth loops, and vicious cycle. Now let's see how two-sided business model actually works. And for this, we're going to take an example of companies like Uber and Fiverr. So let's quickly jump on our computer screen and understand two-sided business model.